Okay, here we've got our structure of the house. It's an MBC Lawson Struct frame, 1.2 U value, internorm triple glazed windows, warm slab. So what we got here is the slab was done in a single pour. It's got the underfloor heating into the slab, and then the covering throughout the ground floor is slate and bare feet because it's warm. Right, 3 zones, fancy staircase, right, all of our equipment is in a service room. So here we've got our cold water feeds and our hot water feeds, and here, it's a little bit untidy at the moment, is the heating system. 2 sun amps, 1, 2, which of the hot water control system, a little bit messy, just tidying up, but it's all there. Home automation system is that little Raspberry Pi there, they're getting mounted. Everything's lagged. Harvey water filter. Right, now let's have a look underneath. So what we've got downstairs is supply comes in here, up through. These ones are going up, are the ones going up to the direct hot water. There's a filler that comes through here into the underwater heating system. Double valves, top up tank, which is run at 1 bar. Now what we've got is very simple. This is here is the entire central heating system. We've got 3 zones. Well, they're not really zones because we don't actually actively control them. They're all the same. 3 port manifolds, pump. All these festooned wires are loads of thermometers. I've got thermometers everywhere. You don't need them for the controls. But what happens is the business end I've got here is a basic loop. So the pump pumps the water through the manifold, down into 3 zones. Water comes back into this manifold and then flows around this circuit here, and it goes one of 2 ways. It either goes through this thing, which is about the size of a thermos flask, which is the Willis, and back, or it goes round and through this plate heat exchanger and back. The Willis is here, and the Willis can only turn on if the pump's on. When the pump comes on, it circulates through the Willis, and in fact what happens is has an output of 3 kilowatts. At the flow rate it goes through, about half the water goes plate exchanger, half the water goes through the Willis. For that flow rate, basically the Willis heats the water up about 10 degrees, but it's mixed 50-50, so the actual difference between the top and bottom when it's running is about 5 degrees. So the water here, when the slab's at 22 say, comes up at 22, gets heated, goes back into the slab at 27, goes round the slab, loses that 5 degree heat, comes back as 22. But in fact what happens is, over a heating period say of 6 hours, 7 hours, the Willis will slowly warm up the slab, and after 7 hours the water coming back might be at say 27, which means that the water coming in is at 32. Now for central heating systems that's actually pretty cool. So the water just goes round. If you have it on for 7 hours, it'll basically warm up the slab, dumping 7 times 3 kilowatts, 21 kilowatts hours heat into the slab. Turns off. that heat then rapidly spreads throughout the slab, and in fact by the time it's spread uniformly through the slab's down from that nominal 32, say, down to about 28, 27. So now the slab is at about 27. The room temperature, it actually, what happens is if you put a thermometer on the floor ends up being about 3 degrees warmer than the room temperature, and that heat during the day is slowly radiated into the room, and the slab temperature slowly drops. And basically what you just need to do is, these control systems, you turn the Willis on until the slab reaches a certain temperature, and then you turn it off. And if you do that every day, it'll heat it up by different amount depending on how cold it is outside, but you'll find that the house temperature tracks within a degree or so. So basically what we've got here, you can see all that's at the back. Oh, by the way, in this plate heat exchanger, I originally put it in so that it actually preheats the hot water going through, but quite honestly it's too much of a hassle. I'm going to change that and just have the hot water going straight up. I just don't, I mean, basically the idea was that this would actually stretch my sun amps a bit further, but it just, we don't use that the double capacity of the sun amps in practice. So what I will do is, down there somewhere, you can't see it very easily, down here I've got there, that double armoured cable coming is where, going in the garden where the air source heat pump is. But what I'll do is I'll just bring those cables up, plug them into here to the plate heat exchanger to heat, so the air source heat pump heats can heat the system as well as the Willis in parallel. Really simple, very space efficient. I've actually got a cupboard that's going, framing that's going in here, framing that's going to go in here, so I can use the storage, and finally folding doors go on the front. And that is my central heating system.